Okay, I believe we're live.
We are. We have been live for 7
Okay,
seconds.
hi guys. Welcome to this broadcast. So we're going to be discussing a couple of topics today, just to kind of give you guys a few insights of, what we're doing at the time. The title, as you've seen, accepting apologies from the past. So this is my panel with me. They're here, and if you want to still be a part of my panel or join the panel, you can still DM me or message me on my social media platforms, and you can be a guest on the panel. You won't see the same people every week because I know everybody's availability is different. So Mondays and Thursdays. So please tune in, and I will let everybody introduce themselves. Alrighty.
Hi. Guess who's back again from last week?
Hey,
It's me.
yep, we were here last week, but I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm Kaylin.
I am Nakiia.
And I'm Jocelyn. I'm so excited to be here. Super excited.
And thank
And
you,
Jocelyn
Jocelyn,
is our
for
special
having us.
Thank you.
Jocelyn is our special guest for today. You didn't see her in the previous live, but you guys are familiar with Jay and Kai. So I'm just gonna dig right in and get right to it. Toxic people. Toxic people. So I guess my question will be for you guys is how do you know when someone's toxic?
Uh,
I guess I'll let you start the Kai.
okay, one thing before we start. I can't see the viewers. Are there people here? Should we start yet?
Give people time to join a little bit.
Yeah, don't. Shouldn't we give people time to join? Joseph, your mic is muted.
Mm-hmm.
He knows. When one person's talking, can we mute each other?
I'm not
Like,
about to.
like everybody with themselves talking
I'm
their
not about to
content.
deal with you, Joseph. I'm not about to do that. Hold on.
We got three people here.
See? My edges, Lord defense.
I guess I'm gonna sound like one of those people. Come on in, come on in.
Yeah, like just give it a second, let it marinate.
I'm gonna give you a second to come on in.
Cause you gotta reintroduce the topic later.
All right, come on in.
Since we got people coming in, how y'all feel about my tapers? They're fake, but I just got them.
Oh my
I
god, those
remember
are
that was
cute.
such a thing.
Bro, I wanted tapers, so I wanted to gauge my ears out. Like when like when these were popular, I was like, oh my god, mom, let me stretch out my ears, please, please. You ain't getting that, not in my house. Guess what? I got 'em. They fake though.
I'm dead. You guys, Miss Hawkins may be tuning in.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Also, this since we're just just random conversation before like we have like a decent amount of viewers on here. I've been starting like to get my life together, and I have found the best way to try to sit down and organize yourself is writing down. Oh wait, everything. Every writing down everything. So like I
And keeping a
have
planner.
like, but this is I need to redo this page, but like I've been writing everything down. Like I've been doing my best to try to organize myself. So I now have put myself on a budget, like a budget that I could not like an outlandly like a budget that I couldn't afford, but it's like a budget that I can actually do. It's
Girl,
like it's a
less than
budget.
$50 at Dollar Tree will set your life.
But
You'll be
I
okay.
don't. So, but you know what? We will. That was just just a little thing I've been doing. Also, I
Yeah.
want to start working out, but and because I need to, and
Dang.
I have like resistance bands and ropes and stuff, but like yeah, I have a rope, but I haven't been able to. I not that I haven't been able to. I haven't made the right decisions to use them.
Well, we can go together.
Oh, and what else? Girl, quarantine. Girl, I'm not going to no gym. I'm sick.
No, like
You know the gym
working
heads
out.
that probably got corona can't wait to go back to the gym, girl. I'm not doing that,
I'm
baby.
meant like working out outside or
What else have I been? What else have I been thinking about? I don't got nothing else really to talk about till people get here. Oh, tomorrow's this doesn't really matter, but tomorrow's wash day. So
like for here.
So that's gonna be a 3-hour process, and so that would be fun. Yeah. Oh, what is the deep conditioner y'all use? Because I use this one. I don't know if you guys can.
Yeah, I use that.
I use this, and it's like first off, it smells like Play-Doh, but it has like a clay-like consistency. But it smells good, but it also smells not good. It smells like Play-Doh. And so like, I don't know. I need a new deep conditioner. Usually I use Dr. Miracles, but because the beauty supplies are closed, I can't find any. And yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got, folks.
I need places to open back up. I need the beauty supply.
Man, that's the only reason like I want this quarantine to be over is because I need stuff to open
Ross
back up.
back. I gotta get me some clothes.
Like I need the car shops to open back up because I don't, like I said, like Megatron stopped working. Megatron's the name for the people that are here. Megatron is the name of my car. That's what I refer to her as. But her 2 front speakers just blown out, and she needs an oil change. And Walmart does oil change $20. So like, come on now, like I mean,
Did you do an oil change at home?
You can mess up your car if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. I would go to 4 from 4 people to 2.
There you go.
Oh.
What he say?
I was like, what?
Hold on. Wait, never mind. That's all I got.
Okay, so Joseph, you want to start at 8:15?
Jojo, just
Okay, I think we keep going from 2 to 4, so I think we're just gonna start right now.
All right.
And people can still go back and view this, but we waited a good 5 minutes. We waited a good 5 minutes for people to come in. So I'm just gonna ask the question. Pretty much, how do you feel? How do you know when somebody's toxic? That's just a big question. How do you know? I guess I'll let you start off and answer it, okay?
would you like me to go first?
Oh, yes.
For me, I don't think you really. It depends. It honestly depends. So like, for some people, you don't know a person is toxic. You don't know a person is toxic until, I don't know, maybe you get like certain vibes from them, like because honestly, because some people you may think are not toxic, or maybe it could be because you're like blinded by love, or it could be because you're blinded by anything. But some people, honestly, you won't even know they're toxic until you get out of that relationship. So it's really hard to just be like, oh well, I knew he was toxic from the start, because people are like love struck, so for me, that's a really hard question. That's why I was like, you want me to go first? Because I'm like, I don't have all my thoughts together. Because I really don't know. Because I've been like in so many toxic situations. And then I'm like, oh no, like, I can change him. But in all reality, I can't. It's just.
You, Jocelyn?
Are you ready? Because I'm ready. No, honestly, I think for me personally, I feel like you either know or you don't know. And the thing about that is, like, I feel like toxic people in the beginning, if you didn't know, people change, and that's when Nakiia, you never know. You just never know. But then I feel like if they are toxic in the beginning, I feel like it depends on you because you chose to go after them. You chose to do stuff for them and you chose it. And I get it, you're love struck, you're blinded, but at some point there's gotta be something in your head that tells you, look, I think you should stop. Like, look, Nakiia, your mic is off. Oh. But yeah, I just feel like that's where it comes to be like you should know something, like something in the back of your head tells you, and that's where it comes to being your gut feeling, and that really helps you out in like learning about if they're toxic, if they're not toxic. I feel like if somebody's toxic in your life, they're just gonna put all of that toxic energy on you, and then either pressure you to do stuff that you never want to do in bad ways or good ways, depends. Most of the time they're bad. It either lowers your self-esteem or it even like even just stops you from doing like life. Like you end up wasting your time for these toxic people who don't deserve it. So yeah,
Okay,
that's how I
so
put it.
I heard what you said. So just picking back off of what you said earlier, could you befriend a toxic person?
Yeah, because I have been friends with toxic people, and I mean you guys know the journey. And I'm not just saying like on that person only. I'm just saying throughout your life because I'm sorry, but you can never go through life not knowing a toxic person. Like that's just something that everybody's gonna go through, and I feel like that's where we all come with different stories, different backgrounds, and even people change because of these toxic people. So for me personally, I have been friends with toxic people, and it took me, my mind state, and my willpower to just get out of it. So, and I think I still experience toxic people today, and I don't even know it because it just doesn't phase me anymore. So, Kaylin, Nakiia, throw that out somewhere.
Um, I feel like, people themselves aren't really toxic. I think there are such things as toxic behaviors because nobody is just going, straight up being toxic all the time. There is such thing as toxic parents, but at the end of the day, you
Wait,
know,
huh? Continue.
like there is such thing as toxic parenting, but at the end of the day, all of our experiences with our parents aren't toxic, if that makes sense. But what I was saying is, a person that's toxic, they're gonna be controlling, they're gonna be trying to manipulate you through guilt or saying that you don't do enough things, stuff like that. And I just feel like you yourself have to recognize that what they're doing is not good for you, it's toxic, and you have to be able to love or be around that person at a distance, if that makes sense. Like if my brother was toxic, at the end of the day, that's still gonna be my brother. But I'm not going to interact with you to let your toxic behavior affect me. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I understand with the toxic behavior, but sometimes another question I would ask was, haven't we caught ourselves being toxic at one point?
Me
That's
personally,
that's the main thing. Have we like looked back and said, you know what? In that point of time, I was being controlling. I was being toxic, So it's like it's almost like judge but then not be judged because it's like how can I make the decision be like, okay, because I know like the hardest part of me sometimes is I have a hard time kind of letting people go. You know, I have a very hard time letting people go because the small part of me is like, I want to help them. I want to help them so bad. I want to see them win. I want to see them grow. And sometimes it can come off as overbearing. And that can be a toxic form because in their mind it's kind of like they're kind of like, okay, like, back up, give me some time, give me some space, give me some room. I can't think. You're doing too much. But in my mind, I'm just like, oh, I just want to help you. I just want to help. So Yeah, that's just my quote on it. But we do have a comment. Joy Williams says, "People don't change. Some toxic ways they have now are the same toxic ways they have always had." So, what do you guys have to say on that?
Um, Me personally,
I disagree.
I'm I feel like there is like a certain extent to where I've been toxic to other people, but it wasn't on purpose. You get enough of, say, like, a parent is being toxic towards you, and for them to, and you trying to get them to stop, or you trying to get them to change your ways, you trying to exhibit that behavior back by either trying to, guilt them or manipulate them. It may not be on purpose, but it happens.
Well, like to be honest, I think from the comment, I'm not gonna lie to you. For me, I feel like toxic people will continue to be toxic because I feel like they're the ones that don't understand that they're being toxic. Like in their head, something is telling them to feel a certain way about a certain situation. So to you, it can be toxic, but to them, it's like Joseph,
It's
like you
normal.
said, you're putting so much out there for somebody, but somebody could be like, dude, you're really just pulling me down. When in your head, you're just like, I'm trying to bring you up. So like,
How about now? I'm
No.
sorry, Jocelyn.
okay. So for me, I feel like toxic people will never change. Like, well, I feel like they'll never change because they won't know. But I feel like, but like with Jacqueline's point, where it's like if an abusive parent is being toxic, like I understand that, but I feel like you're gonna be toxic until somebody slaps you in the face with reality. And I'm guaranteed because this is where I come out to play. Like I don't know, guys. This is such a sad topic for me, and it makes me almost cry every time I hear about it. But do y'all remember the Gabriel Hernandez trial? Y'all,
Yes. Oh my God.
okay. You see that right there,
Gabriel Fernandez.
that
Oh,
was
that
such a
poor
sad
babe. I
topic.
just finished that documentary.
But do you see what happened? The mom was being abusive and she was making other people abusive. She was manipulating others to do bad things to him. Even though, and if you read, oh my God, I couldn't even finish the documentary. But if you see it, like, he treated his mom like his mom, like
What?
on Mother's
What? What the? He loved her.
Yeah, and but you see in the trials, you look at her now, she's saying, I'm sorry, I didn't know. But at some point, you knew what you were doing, and you did it because you're
You
just
had the
cruel.
power
I'm
to,
sorry.
but at the end of the day, you know, I'm not like excusing for what she did because she can
Yeah,
run
she got
in the
burned.
lowest circle of hell, but
She got
you
burned.
know, but but just to piggyback out, the way that she was brought up, the way that she was raised, and what confused me in the documentary was that from the moment he was born, she didn't want nothing to do with him. So in my
Um,
head, I was like, why take him? Why put him back in that situation? But overall, I don't know. Like, I just feel like, I mean, I did have a question for y'all. Um, how do
well,
you?
um, regarding I mean, going back to first off addressing you, Jacqueline, this is just referring to toxicity in general. The reason I'm not okay for the first off, I'm not justifying anything
Yeah,
that woman did because she is absolutely trifling and God will deal with her. All I gotta say on that. But she was traumatized as a kid. If you watch the full documentary, she was
yeah, that's what I was
she
saying.
was she was like gang raped for like 2 days straight. And so, certain things, traumatize you. And so that's why she couldn't get with Gabriel. And I mean, that not get with Gabriel, but that's why she could. I don't think that's why could love Gabriel at her maximum capacity. Does that
Uh-huh.
make sense? But again, I'm not justifying anything that hell. Regardless, um, going back to Joseph's question, do I feel like I've ever been toxic? Yes. Yes, and okay, now I have two times where I know like I'm being like my toxicity. I know there's a part where I know I'm being toxic and I'm using it to my advantage, or I really don't know that I'm being toxic until somebody's like, hey, stop that. Like stop that. And I'm like, oh, my bad. Cause like this is really bad. But like if a boy, you know, like he's showing interest in me and I have absolutely no interest. And I'm just like, okay, I don't like you. But he's like, oh, I'll get you this. I'm like, oh, hi puppy, what you mean? Like it kind of something like that. Now I know I'm being toxic. Now I know that for sure. But like what Joseph said, like I have a friend named we're gonna call him Jose. I have a friend named Jose and I wanted to help him so bad. I wanted him to see that life is so much more than he's making it, and that life is so beautiful. There's so much to do, even though life right now sucks. There's more to it than that. But I came off as really pushy, and I came off as, like Joseph said, overbearing. I came off as very overbearing, and I came off as annoying, if I just want to be honest. And he was very toxic as well, but if just to be honest, we were feeding off of each other's toxicity. Does that make sense? He would push me away, and I would just be like, oh no, I mean he want me to come here, but that's not what he wanted. And I actually was dealing with that for 6 years, and I finally just stopped talking to this person. Like finally, I cut it off over a 6-year period, and that go ties back into the you don't even know that you're being toxic, or you don't even know that this is toxic, or not even that. And here's a third thing: some people know it's toxic, but they just don't want to leave because like they sometimes they slash love of mine is because I felt like, oh, I can heal him. I can fix him. Like, I can fix it. Like, I can do it. I can do this.
Fix the feelings.
But it's just like,
Okay.
you can't. Like but it gets frustrating after a while, you know? But, you know, I would not go all into that story. Maybe we could do a story time with that later. But,
Go into
yeah,
it.
Jojo, I totally understand what you... that I do not want to go into because
Because
see, but the thing about toxicity like that, I'm still healing from it because like I said, I just remember Jocelyn. You remember how you said you had that slap of reality? I had that slap of reality 3 weeks ago, and it kind of stings. It's kind of like a dang, ooh, oh, that hurt. Like when I heard him, because okay, little backstory, and we're gonna go back on track. So what happened is that Jose, I was talking to Jose's brother, and I may not be okay for me when I told Jose that I would be there no matter what, and I have been, and he has cut me off, he has cheated on me, he has basically all this other jazz, right? So basically, but I was like, oh no, you know, he's just going through a lot, and you know, he still loves me or whatever, and so we broke up, whatever. So my love for him now is like as a friend. So it's like I don't want anything to happen to you type of love. So I'm just like, okay, I love you, be safe, you know, whoop whoop da bam. So I'm talking to his brother, and so I'm talking to him. We just gonna call his brother Eli, and Eli says to me, bro, Jose does not love you. He does not like you. He doesn't want anything to do with you. Why do you keep bringing him up? And I'm like, oh. Whoa. And I'm like, dang. He's like, yeah, Jose finds you very annoying. And I'm like, oh.
Wow.
I was like, I was only trying to help. He's like, he doesn't want your help, Nakiia. And I'm like, oh. And so then after I left that process, I'm like, okay, let me talk to Jose. And I didn't get the answer I was looking for. I actually asked questions. He gave me mixed signals. And so I just cut off the whole family. Oh,
But how do you feel
so
now? Like what? How are you feeling
it's just
now?
like
Sorry, Joseph.
um
Are you fine?
just book say this, and then we'll get back on track. But
Tell it. It's
it hurt.
juicy.
Does that
Is
make
it
sense?
better? Did you
Because, like
feel
I said,
relief?
I have not even had. I have so much love for this person because I I understand what this person. I understand what this person went through in a sense. Now, this person was abused in a lot more ways than you can imagine. So I thought, because of my past experience with abuse, I'm like, okay, I understand. We're gonna build each other up, and so I didn't start building myself up till now, and I can't really do anything if you don't want to come up with me, and if you want to stay where you at, I can't bring you, and it hurt here. Okay, so one of the questions I said, when you said that you love me, were you lying? He said, maybe. And I
Punch
was
in the
like,
face. Punch in the face. Punch in
what
the
do you
face.
mean? And he was like, I don't know, maybe. And I was like, uh, what? And he's like, the reason I don't talk to you, he said, don't take it personal. He's like, I'm only close with family. And he's like, you're not family. He's like, I appreciate everything you've done for me, like as a friend and like as like a girlfriend or whatever. But I just don't. He's like, I just don't talk to everybody like that. I'm like, okay. And so then I was like, did you ever lie to me? And he was like, maybe. And I was like, maybe. I was like, Jesus. I was like, this. I'm like, so that's why I can't really tell you how. I'm like, other than her, I never really got I went seeking for closure, and I just got more confused. So, so that I can't really even give you a solid. I can't even tell you how it ends because I don't even know how it ends.
I mean, from judging like how he answered those questions, just the fact that it was ever a maybe, like not a straight up yes or no, that means that he probably did those things or it did lie to you or never did or love you just to not hurt your feelings.
I
And
don't
I feel
know, but
like
it just like
if he was a real person and he was like straight up, and if he ever did love you, he would be straight up with you from the
yeah.
beginning.
So he probably didn't, but that's not. But and I think the thing that hurt the most is that my love was real,
Yes.
and everything that I said, everything that I did, I meant. And so, like, when I told him, I literally, guys, when I told him anything he needed, I sent to him. If he asked me for anything, I sent it. I spent hours waiting for him to respond, and that's partial. I don't know if you guys know this, but this is partially why I have texting anxiety. It's because of him. So what happened was, so I would get grounded a lot over dumb stuff because of my family. And so they would take my phone. So I would use my computer and I would text him at like in the morning, but he would leave me on red for like weeks at a time. And I would just be like, oh, okay. And then he'll respond talking about I was busy. I'm like, for weeks. And so it was it's just a whole bunch of stuff. And it it hurt because not even because like I loved him like, oh well, like I want to kiss on you, hug on you. No, I loved him like a family member, and I wanted to see him safe. I just wanted to make sure he was okay, and I wanted to make sure he was in the right mental space.
Right.
And I wanted the best for him because we had such big plans. We were gonna go to Japan together. At first we were gonna move in together, like start switching. Like I don't know. It was gonna have somebody who loves me deeply,
Um,
and I love him so much. So I'm okay.
I was gonna say thank you so much because like girl, you about to have me into tears. Just to say that
Like
because
so,
it's
just
like it's kind of like what you said earlier. Like I know, like that feeling to like, and I heard this person said, I don't know if you guys know, but his name is I am the, and he said this thing, and it really, really like it really hit home for me. He said a lot of times we fall in love with potential, and we fall in love with the idea of what we can create out of somebody, what we can bring out of them.
Yeah.
Like we look at them
Mhm.
and we like, oh my gosh, like I see so much potential in them and stuff like that. And it's like you want it more than they do. You know, you want to see them go higher than they do. So I like really, really, whew, girl, you was about to have me up in here getting emotional in my feelings because I feel that like that's something like I dealt with and I've recently dealt with because it's like it's almost as if it's like it's a slap in my face because it's like I'm sitting here and pouring out my heart, telling you all these emotions, saying everything, and it's like you disappointed me. I'm
That
disappointed. So
that the same thing happened to me actually. Um, it was due. We went to middle school together, but after middle school, we kind of lost connection. And then, like come high school, we reconnect, we reconnected, and stuff like that. And it just so happened that I ended up liking dude, and you know, and and I was pouring my all into him. I was like, you know what, if you ever need anything, I was going over to a family member's house because he stayed in the same neighborhood, and I was always wanting to see him, and he was always on the phone and this and like right, and I felt like this was a person that was genuinely into me,
I just brought up.
and
I can't believe I said that a lot. I just brought up a lot of bad memories. Oh my
when
god. Hold
it
on.
came
it's
down,
okay, Mikai. It's okay. I'm sorry to cut you off, Caitlin, but like it's okay. Think of it as this. You telling your story out to the public, somebody else can be dealing with the same thing and probably don't know how to deal with these emotions, don't know how to feel about these certain emotions, and they're looking at you because you and told your testimony of how it feels to actually be in pain, what hurt actually feels like. So you telling your story can actually really help the next person. And that's all that you wanted to do. And that's all we all want to do in the end is just really help somebody. So don't look at it as an embarrassment. Don't look at it as something to be, you know, embarrassed, anything like that, because you just touched a lot of people. It's some people who's probably feeling the same emotions, kind of like, oh, like, I don't know how to feel about this. Is this normal to feel this way? And you're sitting here coming on here saying, no, you're not alone, sister. You're not alone, brother. I feel the same way. So don't ever feel like, you know, because you
I'm
did
just
it.
trying.
So it is okay. Can you guys, in the comments, can you guys show some love to my girl Nakiia? Leave her some hearts and let her know it's gonna be okay.
She didn't even hear you because she didn't even have her headphones in.
No, cause I'm sorry, y'all. That just brought up a whole bunch of emotions that I was bottling up. So I almost start
Oh, that
crying. I
means
had
she
to.
didn't hear nothing I said. I ain't sit here.
He was saying
The
some
whole
encouraging
time.
stuff, and yeah.
But
I heard the last thing I heard was it's okay. So as long as it's okay, we good.
oh, well, you can always go back. But just to shift gears just a slight bit. So we talked about toxic people and stuff like that, and now if it was presented to us, would we be able to accept apologies from the past?
Oh, I like that one. I like that one a
Um,
lot.
to me, I feel like here's how I work. If I feel like I'm being done wrong, or if there's something that's, you know, not going right for me, and like this person is like, not making it any better, or they're saying some like really messed up stuff, I'm gonna tell them. And I'm gonna tell them right then and there. I'll be like, hey, I don't like what you said, or hey, I feel like, this could have been done better, or, hey, you're being toxic and you're not supporting me. And if they don't get it right then and there, or if they just keep doing what they're doing and not respecting what I'm saying, then that's it. Because, if someone is kicking you when you're down, they're gonna forever kick you when you're down. No matter what you're going through, you can be just had a miscarriage and they said, oh, well, you should have done this and this and that, or it's a pandemic going on and I need to take care of this and this and that, and they're nowhere to be found to help you out. And I feel like if they're not there when it matters most, they're never gonna be there. And when they do matter most. So if you're not there when I need you and I express myself and you continue to do what you're doing, and that's it. Because when it's 5 years later, all I'm gonna associate with your name now is how you done me wrong, and that's gonna forever be with me. So if when it boils down to it, because when you need something, if I'm the type of person to be, when you need something, I'm always be there. So whenever I need something and you're not there, that's that's messed up. And I feel like, when it really boils down to it, when you expect me to be there for you years later, I'm not going to be.
So you're saying that you wouldn't be able to accept an apology?
Like, I can accept an apology, but don't expect me to do nothing for you.
But I mean, like, like, would you? I mean, like, they was like to come up to you and be like, "Hey, I want to apologize for how I hurt you or how I hurt you in the past." Like, will your heart be forgiving enough to be like, you know what? It happened in the past. It is what it is. I can accept it.
No. I mean, I can be like, what, I understand that you apologize and thank you, this and that, but I can never be there for you you were, how I was before. Because if the same thing happened again, then I'm gonna be looking stupid.
So, what if the tables was turned? What if you was the one that was asking for forgiveness?
Um, I will, if that person was, kind enough to accept my apology, but I wouldn't expect them to do anything for me, or, even want to be associated with me anymore. We go to people for closure. We apologize for closure to get through things, and the guilt or the the emotions of doing somebody wrong would get to me, because that's just the kind of person I am, and I would go to that person for closure. But if that person would never want to talk to me, I would understand that.
So, I mean, like, okay, I understand in that sense, but like something, and, I hate to quote my mom on stuff like this, but like my mom always says something to me. She always says, when you leave something, leave everything with clean hands.
Exactly. And
She
I
said,
believe
always
that.
leave with clean hands. So like it's almost like when like well, this is how I personally feel. I feel like when you like be like when I can accept your apology for something that happened in the past or anything of that sort, it's like then that means I'm still holding on to it. So all the level up, all the upgrading, all the stuff I said I'm still doing, I still have this one trigger that's still gonna allow my luggage to be heavy. So it's
She probably saw the comment. I'm dead.
that's what I was thinking about. But yeah, it's like I can't not allow my heart to not be forgiving to the point to where it's like, when I see them, it's like, oh, because it's people that, and Jocelyn now, it's some people that did us dirty, dirty,
Ooh,
like
I want to go
dirty,
off
like
on
you
that.
wanna like snatch
I'm
them
ready.
up dirty. Okay, so I mean, but Jocelyn, how you feel about it?
To be honest, I'm gonna rephrase what my mama told me for my whole life. You forgive, but you cannot forget. So for me, if you send me an apology, I'm gonna forgive you because that's what God says. We gotta forgive everybody, because they have what's coming to them. You don't have the power to do something to them. God does, and He will do what He has to do. Right? Okay. Another thing, just you see this? You keep it 100. You keep it truthful. If you're gonna apologize to me, be honest. Like if you want to
Yeah.
tell me, look, I used you, I was never your friend. Like to be honest, I used you for a good grade. Just let me know. Like I said, I don't have the power to be like, well, you know what? Da, 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 da. No, I'm not gonna do that because I'm not gonna waste my precious time on you. I'm not gonna do what you did to me. And that's why I
Yeah.
come out to you forgive, but you never forget. And I think like personally for me, I I'm not gonna lie, I've told people that I've never forgiven this person, but I did. At some point I accepted what had happened and I forgave them. And now I just don't associate with them because it
Yeah.
brings it back to they were toxic for me. They were not on my team. They were
Yeah.
like
And it for
we
something
have
for them.
memories. Yeah, like we have memories, but they're never gonna be forgotten ever because you make memories, and those are just things that those are inputs in your mind that you will never forget. And with yeah, so basically with that, Nakiia go.
Am I the am I the only person? Maybe just regarding my last thing. Maybe because I'm not over it. Am I the only person that was simp? Am I the only person? Cause y'all over here, I'm
Yes.
not gonna be
Yes,
cold.
I was
Me, I'm
too.
gonna be like,
And
sure, it is. Look, man, it is what it is.
I'm, I'm
Like,
right with you.
if what's his name? What did I call him? Jose. If Jose came back and was like, "Hey, Nakiia, I'm sorry. Like, can we start over?" I'm like, "Yeah, we could start all over." Like, bro, like, I'm gonna be a
but
simp.
that's the
Is that just
thing.
me?
Sad,
Is
sadly,
that just
I'm right
me?
with you. Sadly, I'm right
Like,
there.
bro,
But
because
yes,
y'all, Jocelyn and Jay was talking about, we have to forgive, but we can't forget. We're not gonna be. I'm over here. Hey, look, what's up, man? Where you wanna go
but
on
I've
Saturday?
done
I got
that
the first pick
before
up. Like,
though.
bro, like,
That's
man.
something I've that's something I've done before. And like and no, but at the end of the day, when you do that so many times, eventually the person you're doing that with, all that person name is gonna be associated with the bad that they done to you. And I feel like, yeah, like um, haha, you can come back, come kick it, come chill, and then like, after a while, it's gonna get old. And that's why I say, I can say, I forgive you, but at the end of the day, in my mind, I'm like, we're not cool the way that we used to be because of what you did. And and I know that I done tried to fix the relationship because I came to you and I was like, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like what you're saying. I don't like how you went about this. And I feel like, us as friends to Nakiia do something. Nakiia, what's up, boy? Nakiia be like, Jay, I don't like that. And I feel like, if a, a relationship matters, like people, if we all treasured relationships like we treasure our friendship, if everybody treasure relationships like we treasure our friendship, then a lot more people will have a lot more lifelong friends like I have you guys. And I'm you know and I feel like, you know people do change, and people, you know my dad always tell me, you really don't know a person until you seen them angry and you seen what they do in a tragic or because you don't really know somebody unless you're living with them. Like we can talk all day, but at the end of the day, I don't know your daily behaviors. I don't know your daily routine.
Yeah, they can be putting
So
on a persona.
yeah, and like I feel like certain people. There are some people that are just those type of people where they only reach out to you when they need something. But there are also those people who genuinely only care about themselves and don't care about your well-being unless it's beneficial to them. And that boils down to, what would they do if you're going through something?
But what if like I'm kind of like with Nakiia on this because it's like I know it's a couple of females that can be like, and I'm like, I just want love. That's it. And it's like,
I
it's
mean,
like,
that's
it's like one of those things that's like,
My
because all
sip
I've
side
seen
like
is like all the good. Like I can really like sometimes I can be overly positive.
entirely
So
yourself.
sometimes I can see all the good and just overshadow the tons of bad that they did, and it could be like two or three good. And I could be like, yeah, you remember when we did that? Or you remember we did that? Like, I will be like, oh, yeah, the hatchet is unburied. That's cool again. We friends. Like, we talk and all that kind of stuff all the time. Like, I have that bad. Like, so maybe well, that is the issue on my part because I can forgive and I'm like, okay, we cool now. We can talk. We can hang out. I got my best friend back and all this kind of stuff. So I'm with
and
it.
that,
no.
and
I'm
I
sorry.
feel like that's another thing. Like once you get into a routine with somebody, and you're talking to this person every day, y'all on the phone for hours, and not just like relationships, but friendships as well. Whenever shit does hit the fan, and then that routine is gone, you miss that routine, and
That's
so.
why a lot.
And so whenever you miss that routine, you're always willing to bring that person back just to feel what you're missing. And I feel like it's a part of growing as an adult, and be like, you know what, this person, we had some good memories, but they did some stuff, and I'm gonna just have to love them from a distance or love them through God because I can't let that person bring your toxicity or let that person harm me again.
That's I don't know. I say that what I was gonna say is that's why people stay in such terrible relationships so long. Like how people like you see that one couple that old boy cheated on. You're like, dang, Tyree and
Oh, or they be going at it like Ike and Tina.
like, bro, what's her name? I was about to say
Her
Valina.
name
There
though.
she go. Jaquan and Valina still together. He done cheated on her like 6 times. Well, like she can't leave because for one, she's emotionally. And that's also another reason with back to me. I was emotionally attached, and
Yeah,
in my situation, it's really weird because it's not even. Crazy thing is, I didn't even see this dude. Like that's the wild thing. The dude I did not see him for 3 years, and I was so emotionally attached to this boy. It was ridiculous. It
that
was
was a part of your routine
like
to
exactly.
check
So it's like,
in on him and worry about him. So when you
uh,
stop that routine or stop talking to him, or things wasn't as what you thought it were, you just kind of like, wait a minute, like what do I do now?
wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll stop. Hold on.
So
But
yeah,
man, I can't. Hold
I
up.
It's like one of those. I don't know. It's just one of those things because it's like especially if you're dealing with a person that know you inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
yes, and they
So that's
know
what makes it.
No,
They
I
know what hurts you. They
I'm
know
feeling
what
bad.
trauma you've been through. They know what affects you. They know what will change your mood in 2.5 seconds, and they sit there and sometimes they will turn that against you, or and especially in relation. Like I've seen it, bro. I'm not gonna name names, but y'all was knowing what I was talking about when I was at PV, Joseph and Nakiia. But you know, like I feel like bringing up if me and y'all get on my nerves. If me and so okay, let's say me and Joseph. Say me and Joseph, we buddy whatever,
Right.
we like this, but and then Joseph knows everything I've been through. Trauma, what makes me cry, like I say, knows me inside and out. And we get into the argument and Joseph throws something that he knows, that triggers me into my face.
I did.
Bless you.
And
Thank
I feel like, not feel like, people that do that aren't your real friends, because in a heartbeat, you never know what they'll turn against you. They can say, give me $500,000, or I'm gonna tell old dude how you messing with his best friend behind your back, or I'm gonna tell old dude how
Man,
could
who
have
did
been
something on
that
the street like
time,
that?
or I'm gonna tell your mom how you had this abortion, this and that, and I just feel like people that do that aren't they aren't your real friends, and I feel like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Get a little too serious. See?
It was just an example.
Woo.
Like, like I just feel people that like throw those traumatic situations and back in your face. Like, A, they're not your real friends. Two, that shows you like when the going gets tough, they not really solid. And three, they gotta go. You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get them up out of here.
So, Jocelyn, you look like you had a lot to say. Say what you gonna say.
actually I kind of forgot most of it, but basically it comes back to like people knowing you and like inside and out, and the reason I guess I am the way I am personally, and that's why I come back to, I just can't forgive and forget. I'm sorry, it's just never been in my heart to do that, and it could work for everybody else, it just don't work for me, and I have reason for it. Like, I had, like, you know how your mom tells you a man or woman who always cheats is always going to be a cheater. Y'all have heard that, right? You've cheated one time, you're going to do it again. It's just like, it's like not even with cheating, but like, let's say you touch the stove when it's hot. Yeah, you know not to touch the stove, but because you're that guy, you want to do it, you're going to do it anyway. So it's just something that comes to play like that. And
Not,
to
I agree with
me,
that.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's like,
Can I
No,
interject on that?
but
I don't know.
just to
Just
Sorry,
make a
just
little side note, I understand both sides. Like, I understand the completely cutting somebody off, and then I understand the simping, because when it's as close to home as family, it's hard to, it's hard to, you know, you know, it's hard to see them in a different light. So when it boils down to it, you just kind of forget all the bad that they done, and you just want to continue with the good. But
okay.
in today,
So,
hmm,
okay, just to interject real quick because Jocelyn said something, right? And like she had said, you know, depicting one, saying they're always gonna be. But something I told a friend, nobody on this panel, guys. But I told a friend, I was like, he was telling me something similar, and I said, you want to know something about tasting a certain food, an apple, for instance. He was like, "What?" I said, "Because every time you bite that apple," I said, "the experience is always going to be different. It's
But
never
some,
going to be the same. It's never going to be alike. You know, like you're gonna feel."
our faces.
All three of us
You-
was like,
right?
okay.
You're gonna feel different though. How you feeling at the time? Like at one time you might be like, "Oh, well, I'm just eat this apple because I'm just hungry."
But one bite might be poisoned. One bite might not taste the same as the other bite.
But then again, sometimes you might be like, "Well, I'm craving an apple. I can taste
Mhm.
this apple. I'm craving it. I want it." And then other
Ooh.
times it's
Mm.
just like, "Well, somebody gave it to me, so I mean, I'm just being kind." So,
Oh, wait. I'm sorry, but have you ever had a Honey Crisp apple? Man.
oh
Oh, oh.
yes,
I like Granny Smith. I like Granny.
Mm. Honey Crisp. See,
Sorry, y'all.
Honey Crisp is not too sweet, but it's not too like bitter, and it's just the right combination of Oh. Anyway, go
sorry
ahead.
to
This is
cut
our
you off, but
friendship,
we
y'all.
do have a comment. First off, hi, baby Kiki. Um,
Yeah,
she
did
said,
anybody know her? No, I mean, not trying to be rude, but anybody I know her personally.
Oh.
I know her. I know she knows somebody else, but you know, we're not gonna know everybody on this live. So she says, "How do you feel about when you have friends with a long time and they switch up on you in the polls, as opposed to the situation of
I mean,
accepting?"
it's like, going through high school, you have people that you're gonna be friends with, and then, everybody has life experiences and they change their viewpoint of the world. So, if if you're friends with somebody and for a long time, you can be like, hey, things aren't the same as they were before. you know, Maybe we can, work something out, try to talk it out. But if they don't feel like they've changed, or they don't feel like they switching up on you, then you sometimes you just gotta be the bigger person and walk away, because for every one person that flips the script on you, there is five other people waiting to find real friends, or waiting to, know, shoot, we see every day on social media how
Right.
people be like, you know what, I need some real friends, or who in texting I need somebody to link up with, or who can I reach out to, And I just feel like it's so common in our generation that establishes a sense of distrust, just distrust one between them, because we meet new people and we go like, yeah, he or she cool, but can I
Mhm.
really tell this person? Or sometimes we pent up all the time, and the first person we meet, we end up telling them half our life story, or
Mhm.
telling them some stuff that's
That
like
we shouldn't be saying nothing about.
that we shouldn't be saying nothing about. And it's all about being patient, and God gonna put who He want in your life to be there.
I'm just
And
looking at
if they
Jocelyn.
supposed
I
and
know.
they and if they
What?
and they supposed to be there, they gonna be there for a long time. I might have y'all little down moments. Y'all might have y'all little scuffles. You might have the moments where I really don't feel like hearing from this person. But at the end of the day, just like how you praying and hoping that this person won't switch up on you, they doing the same thing.
Just to kind of switch gears. Just yeah. Last statement.
Yeah, I have like something quick to say. With the switching up part, I think like for me personally, like I see everybody as we are not done growing. We are not done finding ourselves, and we're probably never gonna find ourselves until it's too late to actually do something with it. And that's the part of experience. Because if you think about it, some people take up to 40 years, some people take up to 10 years. It depends on your lifestyle, but that's what happens when you go through experiences. And that's where people come and come to play, like they will switch up on you. And I feel like the high school is such a big factor because that's really when everybody wants to
And,
switch.
you
Everybody
know,
Well,
wants to shift gears and go in different lanes, and it's okay. Like, because if okay, come on, y'all gotta give me a hands up right now that y'all have actually switched up on people because you're finding yourself. Have you? Come on. Okay,
uh,
Nakiia. I mean, you don't leave people behind, but you do, like, you change it. You
wait, I,
change it.
I thought this was an honest life. If we being honest, yes. Like, if you want me to be true, if
Hard.
you want, but
wait,
I'm gonna
you
wait.
I
I'm
know,
gonna.
can't.
wait.
I'm sorry.
To be honest,
I can't say I switched up on somebody.
you
I have
know,
people abandon me. Now I
yeah,
have had people abandon me and just leave me, and I just be like,
But
okay, well,
but
like, when you
like
talk back to them, do they tell you it's because I felt like you were doing something different? Because in all honesty, we never know when we're changing. We're just changing.
and that's why I feel like in friendships, that's where communication comes in. Because if we as close as we currently are, if I every time I see you, I call you my sis, be like, hey sis, or what's up, or this and that. And I feel like if we as close as you say you are, and I can come to you about anything, or if anything, because this happened to me in high school. Or I always say in the beginning when I meet somebody,
it did. I
and
remember
I
that.
always say, if I'm doing something or if I say something that offends you or you feel done wrong by it, like don't be scared to, come to me as a person and be like, I don't like how you did this, or pull me to the side, something like that. But don't come at me with that confronting. So you did this and this and that.
Right.
That's gonna get you punched in your face.
I understand that, and
But
I guess the reason I can't agree
yeah,
with
let
it
me
because
finish.
I'm sorry. You still make your mess. I know.
But what I learned, my takeaway from saying that to people is that not everybody is on the same level of mentality as you. You can say something and then it go over people's head, or they're still, especially in high school, they're still going to be petty or avoid the situation and do petty stuff towards you until you be like, no, what's up? Like, what's going on? Or you hear it through other people, and that's something in our generation, you can't expect somebody to be on the same mentality as you, but at the same time, you can't dumb yourself down to their level and be petty. You have to learn how to, sometimes walk away or, just just be like, you know what, I respect you as a person, and I can't hang out with you no more like I did. I never like unfairly switched up on somebody, but like it's
I
because
have.
of how they was moving.
I switched on somebody to be not trying to be funny. If you just want to be truthful, if you just want me to keep it pimping, the reason I mean I switched up on my last friend and I met y'all. I'm not trying to be, and it wasn't even on purpose. I switched up like I'm
Oh,
on Keon. I'm on live. What's up? I'm sorry.
hey
My
D.
nephew just came in here. That's
Well,
not D. That's his nephew. But
Oh,
back to what I was. That's what, real quick. Actually, I switched up on this girl before I became friends with you guys. Her name was Kalina, and I just honestly I just
you
started dipping.
naming names.
Yeah, no, because it's because I messed
it's
up.
what
Yeah,
it is.
it is what it is. But it's only because I start switching up, and honestly, like I didn't even notice like it until like she came up to me one day. She was like, "Hey, are you alright?" She was like, "I haven't seen you in weeks," and I was like, "Oh crap, I haven't seen you in weeks." I'm like, I haven't even thought about that. But yeah, like you said, sometimes people don't even be noticing they be switching up. So that it is what it is. I'm
I
sorry, Kalina,
guess
if you ever
I
watch this.
I guess from my standpoint, I can say, well, not to be that person, but I can say like
I
I
never
didn't switch up
switched up.
because it wouldn't even be that I didn't know. It was the simple fact that I never got the closure.
Mm,
The person never came back to me, and I've reached out.
Mm-mm.
I've did all that. So even if even if I did quote unquote switch up, I still had a side of me that was just kind of like, okay, I'm not going to abandon you because that's one issue. Well, that's not an issue. That's one thing I tell a lot of my friends is, I one thing you can always do is you can rely on me. We may not talk for weeks, months, periods of time, but you can call me and it's guaranteed that I will pick up the phone and answer. So it's like,
That's
No,
how
it's
people
true.
use you,
I don't
Joseph.
love that
Some
person.
people like you will be that person,
Be
but I feel like some
you.
people, you gotta recognize some of the people that actually need you, and you gotta separate from the people that taking your kindness for weakness.
Just count on the
I
brother
agree. But
when you
just to
Simple as
switch
that.
see.
gears a slight bit, okay, so
Yeah.
can you accept somebody's past?
Yes.
You
I
gotta.
agree too. I
Well,
can.
actually, it depends. Now, if you a crackhead felon, I don't. Hey, whoa there, buddy. Wait a minute.
Wait a
Okay.
minute. Or
Oh
if
yeah,
you were,
that should be our
or
little thing
or
though. Wait a
or if you were,
minute.
or if you were a rapist or something.
Yeah, no, yeah. So of course those are extreme boundaries, but like I have, or let's just scale it down a bit. If you're a
But that's his
habitual,
past. He
but if
delivered.
Now, okay, it's a difference. If you renounce that, you're this changed person, and that's that person not you anymore. You can say that. But I need to see it because actions speaks
mm-hmm.
louder than words.
I
But
agree.
if you just, if you say that you just changed person, but you still doing dirty things, you still moving shady, you can't show your face properly because of the stuff that you did, or you moving on the DL.
Hmm.
Not for me.
I say that to say that because it's a show that I
It's
had watched,
help.
and I don't know if people's familiar with the show, but the show's called Love is Blind, and it was a particular scene that happened between well, Jacaitlin, I know you're familiar with it, but it's a particular scene that happened with a male and the girl. They were supposed to get married before the end, and the guy before
It's
they
a
go,
down
basically they're in this
deal.
room and they're getting to know each other, they're talking to each other, all that kind of stuff, getting to know each other. So they got out of the room, and they meet each other for the first time. So this particular couple, they're eating, they're having fun, drinking, all that kind of stuff, and the guy was like, I have to tell you something, and it's about my past. She says, what is it? He says, I'm afraid to tell you because if I tell you, you'll walk. She says, like, what is it? Like, what do you mean? Like, what's so bad? And he says that in his past, he used to date both genders. And she kind of felt like, in that moment, because their wedding was in a month. So she kind of felt like, oh, well, you robbed me of connecting with somebody else, or this and that and the third. You should have told me up front. You should have told me the first thing that should have came out of your mouth was this. And he's just kind of like, that's not me. I wanted you to know me and not from my sexual preference. Like, I'm still me. And she's just kind of like, no, like, and she's like, I just need some time to think. So
But okay, with that, I understand. And all in all, the whole thing was toxic, and they ended up not being together. But I feel like if I'm if I'm coming into this relationship, and if I'm knowing that I want to be with this person long term, if we gonna get married, X, Y, and Z,
Oh
that's
God, Jesus! Oh my.
um X, Y, and Z, then that's gonna be one of the first. That could really be like you ain't gotta say it on the first date, but that could be like on the third date type thing. Like I feel like you shouldn't wait until it's a month before you get married because I feel like bringing it up at that moment, it kind of raises concerns. It's like, do I, like, should I be concerned? Like, why is he telling me this now? Like, is he still thinking about, being in a relationship with men? But if like you came to me in the beginning, you'd be like, look, I used to date people both genders when I first started. there was something on me. Then that's something different. But versus just being like, oh yeah, I used to date other people, ha ha ha. It's a month before we get married. Like, that shows to me like it wasn't, when it comes to serious, that's a serious conversation. And
Mhm.
if we're gonna be married and become a team, we need to learn how to have serious conversations, no matter what it's gonna be.
But I feel like in that sense, it's like technically nobody didn't know anybody because you have a screen that's dividing you on both ends and you're blind. That's the whole point of saying love is blind and
I mean, I get
nowhere.
the show concept.
But I'm just saying, like, as far as the show goes, like, nowhere, shape, or form they say, "Are you sure they're gay?" They don't ask that. That's not a conversation that came up, and knowing people that's dealt with that and stuff like that, that's a big deal. That's
I
something
mean,
that people are afraid to tell because of the simple fact. And he says this line in the show. He said, the country hasn't fought for you as it fought for me in sense, which it hasn't because, you know, I had a gay friend who was afraid to
what are you laughing at?
because Jocelyn knows who I'm talking.
No.
But I'm sorry if you said this. But I had a gay friend who was like basically afraid to basically publicly be gay, like every I remember
Yeah.
we was taking, senior pictures and he looked at me and he was like, they called out this boy called Brian, and I know we all pretty much knew Brian. Brian was really, really tall, he was gay, he was flamboyant, he was real cool, everybody knew him. Well, my friend, the football team, we was next to the football team because when you take your senior pictures, they, do you by height. So he looks at me and he says, "They's like, hey, that's that tall gay nigga." Oh Jesus, Lord, I didn't mean to say
Mhm.
that, y'all. Sorry, y'all. But you know, and immediately my friend looks and says, "Oh my gosh, they just called him out." I'm so like he was like literally scared, And in my mind, I'm like, okay, they ain't gonna do nothing though. Like it is what it is. He's like, no, you don't understand. He was like, that's like the football team, and I knew some of them people, so I'm like, "What do you like?" And he's like, "No, like Joseph, like I don't like. Are they gonna beat me up? Like, is it noticeable and stuff like that?" It was, by the way, but he's like, "Are they gonna notice me in any kind of way?" So I mean, in the sense, I understood
His
where
fear.
that comment came from. Yeah, his fear because it's like he hasn't got fought before. People's not saying like still to this day, in 2020, people still not saying, "Oh, well, that's your preference. That's
Hmm.
it." It's still like, like you damn to this and all that kind of stuff like that, and everybody. And I'm not going to get into our beliefs and stuff like that, but I can understand the fear from telling somebody like you know, it's like almost like you're committing a murder,
Hmm.
because immediately her first thoughts is going to be, well, are you still that way? Do you still date men? Well, you just insulted me already because I told you I dated men and women. So why would men be your priority?
I mean,
If
because
because
I
if it was
understand her concerns as a female. Because if you brought that up, if say like Joseph, let's take for you as an example. You about to get married. It's a week before your wedding day. You've been with this girl for the longest. You feel like you know her inside and out. And you say, and she comes to you and she says, Joseph, like, I've been with women, and that is a part of it.
well,
I've
you
been
can't
with
use
women.
that scenario because
But
that's promoted.
but wait,
Women on women is promoted in America
but
and in
wait.
this country. People accept that,
Okay,
Like
then.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying like that's something that's accepted. People don't be like, oh, you know, That's a woman on woman. That ain't gonna happen. People accept that. They promote it on every social media. They even promote it on daytime television. That's
Yeah,
something that's promoted. You know, when it's a man to the man, it's automatically disgusting
well, not
and it's foul. You know, and it's an abomination. You know, I shouldn't show my kids this and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I understand where she was coming from, but my thing is, if you're upset because I didn't tell you, be upset because I didn't tell you. Don't be upset because of the thoughts that's going around in your head.
no, not even that.
Because
I'm saying because if you're saying something a week before we get in a week, a month, or whatever, and it kind of raises the concern, like why are you telling me this now? You know, like are you having some like drawbacks, or like do you still like women? I mean, do you still like men, or do you still want to be with a man or something like that? Not saying
well,
that.
that's the stereotype.
That no, like she was like I feel like she was
Because
just
he said he was
because
bisexual, so why is man the first word instead of? Because let me. I'm sorry, just
I
cut you
mean,
off.
you know, of course
I
she
mean,
knows that he's been with women because she's about to marry him and they, been together.
right,
So when he came to her and was like, I'm bisexual, that is men and women. And because,
right.
she knows that he already been with women. But because it was never brought up the fact of a man, it was kind of like, you know, now that he's with her as a woman, it was kind of like he didn't say, "Oh, I've been with." He didn't say, "I've been with," you know, a couple of women and a couple of men here and there. He said, "I'm bisexual," meaning you like men and women. And
But
her
my
as a
main, I'm
woman,
sorry to cut you off. But
in her as a woman, she knows he like men. So I feel like, it was kind of because he said he was bisexual. I just felt like, and I understand like what you're saying, but I just felt like it raised a concern, like why you telling me this? Do you feel like men?
right,
Because
okay.
obviously he has no doubts about being with a woman
I
now.
I understand that, but my thing is, and this is how I see it: a cheater is a cheater, point blank. Period. It don't matter if it's a man, woman, dog. Well, don't do it. Don't do bestiality, dog, pet, or anything like that. Cheating is cheating. So if your concerns is him cheating in the future, then say
No,
yeah, because hadn't he been a regular, average, straight white male,
he's
it would have been. Well, he's black,
welcome
but
back.
if
Sorry,
he
y'all,
was
my
just
phone died.
if he was just a regular, straight male, it would have been. And he said, "I'm a cheater." She would have been like, "Oh, well, that's your past. We can get through it." You know,
No, I don't think so.
it would have been that. It would have been
I,
that. I promise you, because
Not
she
trying
would
to
have
be.
been like, "Well, that's your past. I've dealt with infidelity in the past." But as soon as he said, "Oh, I used to be with men and women," question right. Well, are you still with women? I mean, do you like men? Are you still going to be with men while I'm marrying you? So if I
because
was marrying you, don't you think I probably wouldn't? Because if he wanted a man, wouldn't he had married a man?
I
But he was
mean
like,
that's why
I'm
that's
marrying
like
her.
it was just part of her concerns. And she wasn't trying to insult him. I
That's
just feel
very
like,
insulting. That's very insulting. Because if he wanted to cheat on her, he could cheat on her with any
but
gender.
he didn't say that. She was just like, so do you still like
Well,
men?
just because she didn't say it, that doesn't mean that's not what she applied.
Mhm.
See, the thing is, you don't always have to say anything. What you're implying speaks louder. Listen, if I go around saying, if I go, if I go around saying, "Dang, you like people say to me, dang, you like those K-pop people? What are they, Chinese, when knowing dang well they're Korean?" What does that imply? That I'm borderline racist. I didn't say that I'm racist. I didn't even, but I alluded to the fact that, or maybe not even racist. It alludes to the fact that I'm ignorant, maybe,
Yeah.
because I think all Asians are the same. Which, to clear that up, I obviously don't think all Asians are the same.
Y'all, not
But
gonna lie, we're gonna have to talk
but it's
about
it.
racism next thing. 'Cause
But
like like like
also, y'all
that's
thought I was grooming before.
but
What you
that's
say?
just
What are you
um
doing?
let me read it. Xavier Dow says, do you think just because a boy is gay, he wants to be with a girl?
No.
Oh, he
Say that one
directed.
more
He
time.
said this. He says
Yeah.
for you, Jay.
Wait, say that one more time.
He
Wait, who
said,
is
"Do
it
you
for?
think he is for me?" But he said, "Do you think just because the boy is gay, wants to be a girl?" No, because I believe that I've met boys that were, you know, masculine and everything that they did, but when it boiled down to it, they just like you. And you know, are you okay? And
Where that
you
come from?
know, I've seen dudes that play football, dance around, hang out with other dudes. But when it just came down to him and his relationships, he's just like, dude. And you know, um, I had a concern because this is something one of my parents brought up to me. But you know how LeBron, I mean, LeBron, Gabrielle Union, her stepdaughter, Zaya, is, saying that he's transgender now.
Hmm.
Wait, he actually got the surgery.
No.
No. He's saying that he identifies as a girl. And one of the things an adult in my household said was, in order for your son to come out as gay or like dude, is because it's picked up for the dad from the dad, meaning that the dad has to exhibit some kind of
Hmm?
homophobic.
Wait, what do you? So you saying it's because
Basically,
I'm not trying to. I don't want to be like. I don't want to sound like I'm attacking, but so are you saying like pretty much that if like for instance if I had a son, if my son was gay, it will be because I have some type of feminine traits or something like that.
or
Because
like gay tendency,
wouldn't every
but
male have
it's
feminine
not
traits
coming from
or
me.
feminine
It was
both?
like
You know,
brought up to me from another adult, and I was like, that's not accurate because we all grow up to who we're going to be and who we're going to like, and we experience different things and stuff like that. But I feel like
What you feel like, Jay? Wait.
I feel like
right?
Oh,
no matter like, I'm sorry, yeah, I heard a weird noise and I was like, what is that? But I feel like your parents, yeah, they have a hand in how you're raised, but they don't have a hand in who you choose to be or who you choose to like. So I'm saying that you can have a completely straight dad, and then your son just grow up to be gay.
Right. So okay. I guess what I'm trying to understand is because I hate to backslide, go back, but my thing is okay. I just want to understand what was the girl's overall
Okay, this
frustration.
weekend better be good.
I just want to know like what was her frustration? Why was it such an issue? Because and not to be stereotypical, but his reaction, what he told her what he expected from her, and not to throw race in there, but 99.9%, he probably was directing. I would expect a black woman to not accept me, you know, because even me, I grew up in the old school households where you know everything you did was a sin. Your walk is a sin. Like
Okay, good, because Nakai's turned this into an ASMR.
right. But everything was wrong. So, my thing is like, and he says that, he was rejected from his family, but that's stereotypic. That's mainly in black families. Like, sometimes other races can be not, I'm not going to say fully acceptive of it, but more understanding of the situation. But in her sense, I just want to know what, what was was it the simple fact that he didn't tell you soon enough? Because there's a reason he didn't tell you soon enough. So what is her whole, why is she upset? In other
I
words,
don't know.
why she
Let's add her to the panel and ask her.
I'm just I'm
But
just saying 'cause
like I said, I understand her concerns, and I understand why she acted the way she said what she said. But at the same time, she could have communicated in a better way. I'm not defending the girl all the way. I'm just saying that, like I said, and I don't know, the whole thing was toxic, and it ended up not being together. I'm just saying I understand why she felt what she felt. But all in all, her communication of her feelings and her thoughts could have been way better.
Justin, what you think about this?
I wasn't listening, so um, personally, I come back to, for me, it's just the way I think. But I feel like when you grow up, like I said, you're never done learning about yourself, and I feel like you experience your experiences, and let's say some of them were just flings, some of them were permanent. I mean, I feel like a guy. I mean, I'm pretty sure a guy at some point in his life was like, "What would it be like to kiss another dude?" Or even a female, like, "What would it be like to kiss another dude?" You experience it, you daydream about it, you think about it, but then sometimes it actually comes to play where you're like, whoa, I like this, like I want to continue this. And that's where I come out that, I mean,
Got me
some people are born that way, some people are just like, nah, like females is just not for me, or no, dudes are not for me. And it just, I mean, it depends on how you
and
take it, but I
that's
feel like
another
for
thing.
him, yeah, and I feel like for him, he's open about it. At least he was like, look, I'm not bisexual. Now with Jacayla on that one, what if I was her? Would I want him to tell me in the beginning? Yes, because then I could understand, like, nah, like, it's cool, like I get it. You went with
Telling me
your
a
boo.
week or a month before, it kind of it bring you
Yeah,
uncertainty. Like, okay, you told me this. How do you want me to react, or how am I supposed to process this? Like, why are you telling me this? Like, is there
well,
something you're interested in, or like somebody else, or like do
like,
you
you know what I think it
have a
is.
second
I feel
thought?
like basically with that, I feel like he wanted to tell her before it was too late. Maybe somebody at the wedding was gonna pull it out, or maybe someday in the future it was gonna happen where she was gonna find out, from what I've heard, because I've never seen the show. But it just seems like he never told her anything, and never gave her any suspicion that he was bisexual. And that's where I come to play that, maybe he just wanted to tell her so that she could be like, oh well, I already know. Like, it's okay. Like, I already know. But I come to think about it, you can do it two different ways. Either she could have been like, well, or do you still feel like, she could have like sympathy for him. And I feel like with situations like that, she could have been like, hey, it's okay. Like, we've all been there. Are you still into it? Are you still not into it? And then he could have came out and been like, like, no, like, I'm telling you this because I don't want to have secrets before we get married. And, I feel like there's
Right.
more to it, right?
Mhm.
I don't want to have this to where it blows up in the end, and like, it'll be on tabloid, because it's on TV show. Come on, everything starts coming out in tabloids. So, I don't want them to be like, oh, well, did she ever know? But you do that because you don't want to ruin it. And then, I mean,
Go ahead. Go ahead. I
look,
just have to
you
send
can
one to
take
go
it
ahead.
either way, and that's where I come out. And then number two on that, she could, and this is where I come into also, what Jacqueline was saying, like, are you feeling some type of way about it? Are you still into dudes? Are you telling me this because you think one of your grooms is fine, or you think, my dad's good looking? Like, what are you telling me this for? And that's where there's two ways to know about the story. Either he wanted to tell her because he didn't want any secrets, or he wanted to tell her because he was low key like, I think
Have
one
a
of my
second
boys
thought.
is looking good in his suit. You don't know.
For
And
me, but
yeah,
go ahead.
Nakiia, go ahead.
I feel like, but I also feel like he excuse me, he told her because he felt like that was just a very important information to share. He felt like that was crucial information to share so she could maybe feel comfortable, because like that's like not telling your partner that you're transgender and then they have to find out the hard way.
Right.
And y'all know what I mean by the hard way.
Right.
And they looking at you like,
What is this?
why we got the same thing, bro? What's going on?
What's
What
really
the hell is
good?
going on? But anyway, I think it has the same type of vibe to it. Obviously, probably not the same severity, but maybe he just wanted to get chest, like a hey, or maybe like maybe he
To
just
feel
really liked
released.
her, like he just wanted to be 100% with her, maybe wanted to be straight up. But
Right.
at the same time, we can't be mad at her because maybe she felt like he was keeping something away from her, and she felt like, well, now I feel betrayed because you didn't open up with this, because obviously sexual orientation is a very important thing in a relationship, because I have seen and heard countless of stories of people just getting with people just because, and then maybe that person ends up falling in love with that one person, but the other person doesn't love them back, so then there's conflict. So I just feel like I felt like he did the right thing by telling her, because what if maybe down the line it don't work out, right? And he be looking at, hey, little mama. And then some, not even little mama, hey, little daddy. And she like, what the hell? And then she kind of looking like, you ain't tell me. He's like, well, you ain't us. And then it's kind of like it's like that. So I feel like he was right for telling her, and I feel like I do feel like she overreacted a bit, because if you, that means you didn't love him from the start, or you didn't like him enough to marry him, if that can turn you off so fast about somebody's past. So I feel like that was a win for them, because if I told you right now, if you love somebody, you accept all of them. If I told my boyfriend right now, I'm not really explicit, but it's gonna get weird. Hey, baby, I like my toes licked. He gonna look at me like, you like what? And then he's gonna be like, what? But if he really loved me, he either gonna accept it, or he gonna move around.
Oh,
Nakiia, he has a comment directed for you. So,
hold on, I can't see. Give me a second, y'all. I can't.
well, I'll just read
What
it.
if it's not? Okay. What? You please read it to me. I can't see that.
Yeah,
Guy.
this says,
What if it's not his or her current sexuality?
Wait, elaborate. What do you mean if it's not his?
Okay, so
his or
say
her
like,
person?
you're with a dude and all of a sudden he wants to be a female.
He wants to be a female?
Yeah, like say like you're with a dude.
No, I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying like, what if like that's not how? For instance, he told you in his past, I used to be bisexual, but present day, that's not how he is anymore.
I still feel like
I think that's fine. I think that's fine, because everybody has things that happen. Things that happen to them, when they were younger, maybe. So people see, honestly, people don't think about this. Now I'm about to get real deep. Now listen, all people are born, however they are. Now, honestly, it depends on the household. Now, what if something traumatizing happened to this boy? Like he was molested or raped by another man. And now he thinks, well, maybe I like men. And then maybe he starts forcing himself to like men. And then he thinks, oh, well, I've naturally been like this all along, When in our reality, he just hasn't. That's all he's ever known was men, and he's never had the gentle touch or a touch of a woman, so he doesn't know how one feels like. And then now he's like, oh well, I don't like men's no more. I am delivered, you know. So there are an infinite amount of possibilities, but honestly, you don't know why. Or that person could just be like, yo, I like it, I like that. You know, it could be like that. So honestly, you don't know what was going through that. Excuse me. You don't know what was going through that person's head before, or what happened, or what caused him to go. I'm not saying that it has to be like some drastic excuse for somebody to like the same sex, but you don't know. You truly don't know unless they choose to open up to you why they feel this way about a certain or about their certain sexuality. But then again, people don't question why men. Well, that's a different story. But people don't question why men like women. It's because it's just how
That
it
is
is.
different.
Nobody
That
questions
is a
it.
different discussion.
That's why I
That's
said
not.
it's a different discussion. But nobody questions it. No one's like, okay, so what happened in your childhood to make you like make you like men, Nakiia? Oh, well, it all started when I was in the womb. Like no, like no,
Oh, yeah, you touched me the wrong way. No, that's not so.
like bro, like it's just I don't know. But honestly, for me, regarding this is a little controversial, the LGBT community in general. My thing is, just I don't care if my thing that frustrates me about the LGBT community is they use it as a personality trait. That's my biggest frustration.
Or like one
They,
thing
oh
I
my
don't.
god, okay, oh my god, I think I'm so quirky and I'm so well, I'm gay.
Oh, I knew
Good,
somebody
good,
like that. Jesus.
good for you. Do you want a
Me and you
cookie?
knew the same person, Jocelyn.
Bro,
Oh
do you?
my
You're
God.
okay, cool. Okay, bro.
Me
Oh
and you
my
knew the
god,
same
that
person.
test. Oh my, like, bro, I think I
The
would look so
same
good
person.
in this outfit.
Oh,
Well, I'm gay, so of course I look. Bitch, shut up. Okay, cool.
that
No,
And then
like
another
now
thing,
that's when
like,
I start having a problem, and
and then
that's
oh
another thing is I
God.
feel like going for like all aspects of our generation, not just LGBT, the community, but like certain things, everything is not meant for everybody, and just
that's social media purposes.
Yellow
yes,
say that. Yellow say.
but I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that they can't be included, but when it comes to things like, being a Victoria's Secret model, not everybody should be a Victoria's Secret model just because they think they should. I mean, not think they should, you know what I'm trying to say, not just because it's there. Like, trying to defy social norms, like, understand, like, something just
Wait, what are
aren't
you saying?
normal.
Hold on. Wait, I'm sorry to cut you off, but what are you saying?
Hmm?
No, I'm asking like what she's saying. Like it's a lot of muffling, so
Yeah,
I
I
can't
hear
really
it too.
like
Hold on.
clearly. Yeah, I can't
It's
clearly hear.
it's like you gotta mute yourself. It's a lot of feedback.
Yeah. So like, what are you saying exactly?
Like, you know how a couple of, well, towards the like end of 2019, it
Hmm.
was such a big deal for people,
I'm gonna
like,
be right back. I'm about to go wash my hands.
okay, for people to be a part of everything.
Also, because the trans community, Victoria's Secret said they didn't want trans models,
I mean,
so that was a
I
big.
just use it as an example.
No, I'm saying I'm telling JoJo that's what happened. There was a big controversy with Victoria's Secret because they didn't want trans models on the runway.
But
Oh,
like, people feel like everything. I'm not saying that you can't follow your dreams or nothing, but I feel like if it's not meant for you, then you shouldn't go and try to change that. Some girls, they go and play football, or some
mhm.
boys, are ballerina dancers, or stuff like that.
Okay.
But
I understand that, but don't. Okay, and I wrote this down actually. So, do you believe in that sense, it's a double standard because a lot of times, us as males, we be like, okay, this is for us, and and women be
Mhm.
like, oh well, anything a man can do, I can do too, you know. So is there a double standard with that? Because that happens a lot. It's like, especially now we're in the movement of the woman and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, we it's like this because I want everybody to see it in all aspects. So it's almost like if I was to be like, well, women can't work in the railroads. That's for men. You can't do that. That's a
Mhm.
man's job. Let a man do a man's job. Immediately, not even a second, immediately the women will get frustrated. They're like, "How
Yeah.
dare you say that's for a man? How dare you say women can't do that?" That's and not. I don't know if that's the case with them because this is my first time hear about that story. But
Mhm.
I feel like sometimes that can be the scenario for them because a lot of stuff, like and y'all, I ain't trying to offend nobody, but a lot of times I don't know who's who, and I'm saying that as purest hearted as
Yeah,
I
like
can
not to
be.
be
A lot
ignorant,
of
but
times, not offending anybody, but sometimes I don't know who is who.
And
not to
and,
And
be
and
a nigga.
just a slight side note, and then that also makes me scared to approach people too.
Yeah.
Like, because hi, like, I work at Dollar Tree, right? So, like, I can't, hi, miss, how are you? Ooh, how,
oh, child, I had that a couple
how,
of
ooh,
times.
I don't, it confused, I don't know,
If you
like,
don't know,
I
you
know,
just
what
say
you're
thank
talking about
you.
in that sense. But
And
the
I
thing
feel
is,
like,
also about the LGBT community before I hop off the subject, because this subject is really touchy.
It
it
is
really is.
One thing that really grinds my gears about the LGBT community is that they want to be accepted, right?
Yeah.
And they want us to put it in like social norms and like everything, it's okay. And you do you. But then they they do this thing where they bash straight people. And then
Yeah.
it boggles my mind, and because I'm like, but don't you want equality? And I'm
Or
like, but
like,
don't you want to be accepted? And I'm looking, and I'm like, but
right,
that doesn't make sense. And then they're talking about, well, we're oppressed. I'm like,
right,
I'm a black woman in America. I know what oppression is. I'm not
we the
stupid.
most hated.
Like, I understand what
right,
you're talking about. Oppression with oppression don't equal freedom. It don't.
right.
So that and with that, I'm off of the LBT question. So
And I just,
I'm with
what you were saying about the double standard thing, it's a double standard when it comes, or I almost said my God. But it's a double standard when it comes to certain things.
Is
Like,
it selected things that double standard, or 'cause, like me personally, I feel like there's a double standard
let me
as a whole. Okay, okay.
finish. So, for
I
example, can y'all mute this please? Because it's like feedback. I don't know. I think it's Nakiia.
mm,
I don't know. It's like weird.
not me, boss. You hear it? Is it gone?
Yeah.
That means it's Joss.
Oh well. No, wait. It is because Jocelyn is muted, and I can still hear myself. Okay. So what I was saying is, like, for example, for like celebrities, when it comes to a celebrity female, they expect it to be, even when they go out on the streets, they expect it to be dressed to have makeup on, looking decent, looking nice. Versus, Beyonce, walk outside and shoot, she better be, she has a standard to uphold. But when it comes to male celebrities, they can go outside looking like hobos and won't nobody say nothing. We see people that see
Oh
celebrities
no no no
like,
no 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 no! Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there because actually, and this is coming from a black male. We cannot leave the house any kind of way because immediately, the moment second we walk out the house, we're already being viewed as either a criminal,
I was saying
either
celebrities.
you know a a thug or anything. So I mean, it's not just women in that sense. As far as appearance go and just leaving the house any kind of way, everybody deals with that, and nobody is exempt from just leaving the house any kind of way or just going out in public and just doing and just doing whatever. And a lot of things we have to have knowledge behind it because not many people know men created the makeup and the wigs. Many people don't know that.
Ashley said, "Come here."
Okay, okay, baby. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. That's my niece,
Ashley
guys.
didn't call you Dee.
Okay, baby. Okay, baby. I'm gonna go. That's my niece, guys. But I'm sorry to get sidetracked. But I do feel like there's a heavy double standard, but I feel like it's a double standard we really can't fight. Because it's just it's I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like it just is what it is. It just really is what it is. Like I wish it was something we could fight. Of course, like Nakiia said, we want equality for everybody and all this kind of stuff like that. But sometimes, the LGBT community have to take accountability. Just
Mm-hmm.
because you gay, it doesn't mean everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't like me and Jocelyn knew the same person. Like this boy used to say, I used to be like, "Oh, you want to play some basketball?" He'd be like, "I'm gay," and I'm like, "Okay," and like, you know, so
Mm.
looking back at it, I can laugh at it, but and I heard this one person say, and he was actually transgender, and he said one thing that the LGBT community needs to stop doing is you cannot force feed somebody to accept you.
Yeah.
Just
Same
like
thing.
black people,
And also same thing with
we
religion. Mm-hmm.
oh yes, even being a Christian person and black, you know, we of course we know everybody's not going to accept what you believe in. Nobody's not going to want what you want. Nobody's not going to like apples and oranges. Okay, some people like grapes. Just saying
Some
that,
people allergic to fruit.
and some people are allergic to fruit. So yes, I do believe yes they do. They need to take accountability for what they do because a lot of times they don't take accountability for what they do, and it's a hate crime. But that doesn't justify that the hate that they do get
Yeah.
because it's still not a lot of equality. But
Hey
you
yo,
know,
Mr. Johnson
what
didn't
can
come back today. Sorry.
in
Don't make
saying
me
that,
stop.
I am burnt out. I don't know about y'all, but I am burnt out, and we have actually went over our time. They kept buzzing in my ear saying you going over time. So if you tuned into this live and you like everything you heard, well, first off, thank you for joining our live, and a huge thanks to my amazing panel. I will link their social medias down below. I know I said that last time, but I will do it this time.
Yeah, I
So
better
go
follow
follow
them.
them. Go show them some love on their social media platforms. I know we got a good amount of views on the last one, so let's try to get some more views on this. Keep reposting it. Keep sending it to your keep sending it to your family. We go live every Thursday and Monday. Our panel will never be the same. It will always be miscellaneous. Of course, you always see me, and whoever else.
I'm gonna try
And one
to
of these
tune
people
in
is
every
available.
Monday, y'all.
So,
But
oh yeah,
no,
Jacqueline will be here Mondays. She'll be here every Monday.
make
So,
sure and
oh, you're
Nakiia.
you're off Monday too. Oh well, Jacqueline and well, that's good. I didn't know that you guys was good Mondays. So
And
Jacqueline and Nakai will be here Mondays, and Thursdays you'll probably see a different panel, and it'll be miscellaneous. So if you want to be a part of my panel, oh, like Jocelyn,
I'll do Thursday
Jocelyn,
with
she was.
Jacqueline and Kai, say Mondays, and I'll do Thursday with you, baby.
Oh, well, you have seen the original cast for Mondays. This will be my panel for Mondays. So Thursdays, if you want to tune in and you want to be a part of the panel, please, please, please DM me. All my information will be linked down below. And we just need a few things, your email address, just so you can be invited to this broadcast. So if you guys don't have any closing remarks.
I just wanted to remind y'all that this video will be up after we leave. It'll be posted So just go ahead and share, and go ahead and we'll give y'all a few minutes to comment of topics that y'all want to see us talk about. It may not be in that specific order, but we will try to get to everybody's topics. And this is gonna be a reoccurring thing. We might start our own little page. So, just spread the word, tell your friends if you feel like what we talk about is genuine. And if you don't, that's too bad. But no, we do enjoy having y'all funny people. So
Um,
yeah.
all I gotta say is first off, thank y'all for tuning in. Also, actually, a few things. Before this comes back and bites me in the behind, I do want to say that I have nothing against the LGBT community. I absolutely love the community. I just, with every community, even like the Black community, there are some things that obviously needs to be changed and fixed. So I want to get that out the way right now because anybody, oh my God, if this comes back to haunt me,
Right.
they go, oh my God, she don't like, she don't like. Shut up. I ain't never said that. There's problems with everybody. There's problems with every community. Every community. Also, a little bit of self promo. If you're into that type of thing, I am starting a makeup page. It's called.
Yes,
It's
she
my.
is. Yes, she
It's
is.
a
I'm sorry. I'm so
It is
excited for her.
actually my user right here. If you're into makeup or anything, go follow me on IG. Soft Mango Kisses. First couple posts will be up tomorrow. So that's all I gotta say.
And she does
And then my
amazing
main
makeup,
page is also linked on that too. So thank you, and you guys have a wonderful day. And if y'all don't follow me, I'm coming for you next.
On me, Nakiia and I putting
She's
up to your house.
amazing. She does makeup amazing. I've seen this girl do makeup. She is amazing. So I will leave her information down below.
Also,
Oh, I'm sorry,
sorry to cut
Jocelyn.
you off. I do make and sell candles. I do aromatherapy, lavender, spearmint, peppermint, eucalyptus, orange. So if you like candles, get at the girl. Joseph is a proud customer.
Jocelyn,
He
any
stayed
closing
he
remarks?
stayed buying candles for me.
Well, it was great. I was actually super grateful for you guys to have me today.
I know she's just so supportive.
Honestly, our topics are pretty bomb. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely hope to see you guys next Monday and Thursdays. Another thing. Ooh, spread love, spread
Oh,
joy,
yes.
and always stay true to yourself. Whether you're
Yes.
trans, whether you're gay, if you're straight, you're lesbian, if you like the color
Yes.
purple, you like the color pink, just stay true to you, boo. And I
Nakiia.
can't wait for you guys to have me again. So,
Yes, we will have her again. So, in saying that, bye, guys. Hope to see you Monday and
Hi,
Tuesday.
are we scamming my friends? Why
Okay.
she leave?
I think I ended our broadcast.
Why is still going? It's time